Welcome to this lecture on internal control success and failure stories. In this session, we'll explore real-world examples that demonstrate how effective internal controls can protect organizations and how their absence can lead to disaster. By analyzing both successes and failures, we'll uncover valuable lessons for designing and maintaining strong control systems. Let's start with a success story. Johnson & Johnson's Tylenol crisis response in 1982. When tampered capsules caused several deaths, the company's internal control systems and ethical culture were immediately tested. Johnson & Johnson's leadership acted decisively. They implemented rapid recall procedures, communicated transparently with regulators and the public, and redesigned their packaging to include tamper-proof seals. Their crisis management and decision-making processes reflected strong internal controls, quick information flow, accountability, and ethical decision-making. As a result, the company not only survived but emerged with enhanced public trust. This case shows how well-designed controls, guided by clear values, can turn a crisis into an opportunity for long-term success. Now, let's look at a failure story. Enron Corporation. Once hailed as an innovative energy company, Enron collapsed in 2001 after massive accounting fraud was uncovered. The failure was rooted in weak internal controls and unethical management behavior. Enron used complex financial structures to hide debt and inflate profits. Auditors failed to question these practices, and the board did not exercise adequate oversight. The control environment, the foundation of internal control, completely broke down. This case demonstrates how even sophisticated organizations can fail when integrity and governance are compromised. The fallout from Enron led to the creation of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which made internal controls over financial reporting a legal requirement for public companies. Our next example is a success. Toyota's internal control transformation. After experiencing recalls in the late 2000s due to safety issues, Toyota overhauled its internal control system. The company implemented global quality assurance reviews, empowered regional management, and introduced advanced data monitoring tools to identify problems early. Their renewed focus on transparency, accountability, and communication strengthened the control environment. Today, Toyota is recognized for its continuous improvement culture, or Kaizen, which embodies the principle of monitoring and feedback, a key element of the COSO framework. Let's also examine Wells Fargo's sales scandal, another example of control failure. Employees created millions of fake customer accounts to meet aggressive sales targets. This happened because the control environment encouraged short-term performance over ethical behavior. Monitoring systems existed but were focused on sales outcomes rather than compliance and customer satisfaction. The lack of tone at the top allowed unethical practices to thrive. This case highlights how controls can fail when culture and incentives are misaligned with organizational values. On a more positive note, consider Procter & Gamble P&G, a company widely regarded for its robust internal control system. P&G's success lies in its structured approach to governance and risk management. The company emphasizes segregation of duties, continuous process improvement, and data-driven decision-making. Its control environment promotes accountability and collaboration, ensuring that employees at all levels understand their role in maintaining integrity. As a result, P&G consistently delivers reliable financial results and maintains investor confidence. From these examples, we can draw several key lessons. First, internal controls are only as strong as the culture that supports them. Ethical leadership and transparency are the foundation of every successful control system. When tone at the top promotes integrity, employees follow suit. Second, internal controls must evolve with the organization and environment. Whether it's Toyota adapting after recalls or Johnson & Johnson enhancing packaging security, effective organizations learn and improve from experience. Third, oversight and accountability are essential. Enron and Wells Fargo failed because oversight mechanisms either didn't exist or weren't enforced. Internal audits, compliance reviews, and active board involvement are vital to detecting and addressing problems early. Fourth, communication and responsiveness matter. In a crisis, the ability to act quickly based on reliable information can protect both reputation and performance. Johnson & Johnson's swift response is a textbook example of internal control in action. Finally, continuous improvement is non-negotiable. Internal controls are not static. They must be tested, refined, and strengthened over time. Organizations that treat controls as living systems, not checklists, are more resilient and trustworthy. To summarize, successful companies treat internal control as part of their DNA, embedded in their culture, strategy, and daily operations. Failures occur when organizations neglect ethics, ignore oversight, or prioritize short-term gains over long-term sustainability. In our next lecture, we'll move into internal control over financial reporting, where we'll examine how control systems ensure accuracy, reliability, and transparency in financial statements. Thank you for joining me in this session on internal control success and failure stories.